All right. What's up, coaches? Just kind of wanted to go over kickoff coverage drills that really helped me as a special teams coordinator this year. We kind of started my first season, and our kickoff coverage number was I think around 26 yards of return. So not as good as I'd like it to be. And we had a couple big returns happen on us. I think we allowed like one or two kick return touchdowns. So I put a huge emphasis on how can I make our kickoff coverage team better this year. Well, this year we had two main drills that really helped, and we were able to get that number down to 19.1 yards a return, which is really freaking good. So just kind of wanted to share the drills that helped me be a better coordinator and help my team be better at special teams. And I take pride in special teams. But let's get further on with it. This is my email if you guys want to hit me up about anything. But here we go. So first things first, right? We want to go over the zones. So essentially from the ball to around the 35, right? We are in the speed and read zone, right? You want to fly down to your assignment, right? The biggest thing here, right? It's called the speed zone. So we don't want to be touched at all, right? We want to avoid blocks by any means, right? So we want to make sure that we rip through, kind of like how a receiver works, right? How they're trying to rip and restack on top, right? So any people that try to block you in this zone, you got to avoid. Okay. And then as soon as you enter the 30, right, the 30 to the 20, this is our two gap and shed zone, right? If you're untouched, go ahead and get the returner, right? But if you are touched, right, or a person is attempting to block you, you have to take on the block, right? Because if you try to avoid blocks in this area, you're taking yourself out of the play, and now you're creating unnecessary gaps and holes for the returner to return through, right? So this is why we call this a two gap and shed zone. When we two gap here, right, we're gonna make sure that we create essentially a wall for that returner, and that if he wants to go near us, right, we're gonna shed off our guy and we're gonna go and tackle him, right? And then anything past the 20, right? If we end up entering the zone and the returner barely gets the ball, now this is the BAM zone. We got to tackle this guy by any means necessary. Okay. So those are the zones that we live and die by, right? So the first drill that I'm gonna pop up right now is gonna really focus on the speed and read zone, right? So essentially, this is how we set it up, right? We're gonna have 12 players, 13 players in total, right? This is called our net drill. Okay. So in the net drill, right, we should have six players on kickoff, six players for kick return, right? Our most outside guys is what we call the stack and contain player, right? They're gonna act like a safety, right? They're the last defense outside, right? That returner should not be able to get outside of our contain, right? But if the returner wants to bounce in, right, he has to act like a linebacker now, and he needs to stack track, fall back to the guy. Okay. Our second most outside person, these are what we call our force players, right? It's in the name. Kind of, these guys are essentially our outside linebackers in a sense. Outside linebackers or corners are really good here, right? If the returner runs towards the sideline, we need to be outside shoulder of him and force him in. Okay. And then our most inside person, that's who we call our alley player, right? Kind of like a safety or inside backer, right? If the returner runs down the middle, we got to vice him with our other alley player. But if the returner wants to run towards the sideline, we need to make sure we're inside shoulder of the guy, right? We don't want to be outside shoulder because then we create gaps, right? Let the force player force, let the alley player play the inside, okay? So some diagrams, right? So what are the six people here for, right? On kick return, essentially they're going to flip their hips, right? They're going to flip their hips, and we want to attack butt side. We want to always attack butt side, right? Because we're not trying to get touched, right? If the guy flips towards you, you need to attack his butt side so you don't get touched, okay? But in the rare occasion, let's say on the right side right here, where he squares up on you, right? You might as well take your leverage standpoint from what your position is. If I'm an alley player and I'm expecting this guy to run to the outside of me, right? I should already just be taking inside leverage. If I'm the force player, I should already just take the outside leverage. Okay. And then some diagrams of how we should be looking, right? The returners going towards the sideline, alley players going inside shoulder, force players going towards the outside shoulder. Our stack and contain is going to contain here and make sure nothing comes outside, right? If you're on the backside of these plays, right, you need to get down the line and you need to take good angles to make sure that, let's say if our field side, our play side, does terrible, we got to make sure that we can stop the play and take good angles. Okay. And then if the returner wants to go down the middle, right, we got to vice him. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys some clips real quick. Uh, Please excuse me for not having clips set up already. For some reason, this is terrible on me. I don't know how to create clips on or not create clips, but cut up on New Huddle, and I can't find it on the Classic Huddle. So we're just gonna go play by play right here, right? So this is our first example. Also, I apologize for the cutoff on the camera angle. I should have put this down more, but oh well. Right, we're gonna see our kick return guys. Right, um, they're gonna flip their hips right here, right? They're flipping their hips, and we're attacking the butt side, right? I love this right here, right? Attacks butt side, and now he's gonna get down the field. He's our alley player, right? This guy should be attacking here. This guy should be attacking here. He attacked butt side. This is great right here, right? So here we go. Now we're going and getting down the field, right? Returner kind of stumbles the ball. We were working a lot of squib kicks this week, right? Because the um, we were going against a kickoff team that likes to squib kick a lot, so we were working against that with our returners. So getting two birds, one stone of terms of work, right? We see here, right? He's trying to get down the middle. Our alley players are viced, force players are viced, and our stack and contain players. Notice how they're still back here, right? They're playing like our safeties. This is a great rep right here. Love it. Let's see what else we could find, right? One thing I don't like about this rep already, okay? This guy right here, he just stayed square. All right, if I'm the alley player, I should already just take inside leverage of this guy. Why would I want to go outside of him? Okay, so we see it, right? Everyone else attacks butt side. Our force player right here really needs to take a way better angle of being that force. He needs to force everything inside. If he's going here, right, I need to take a flatter angle so I could attack his outside shoulder, right? But everything else, right, the alley player was able to attack inside. Our stack and contain was able to be most outside person, right? So let's see how this plays out right here, right? Our force player didn't do good, right? But luckily we were able to trap him. Good. Just gotta be stay outside. Also, this is we were a no contact, low impact practice right here. So, just didn't want to, I don't want them to be tackling, or else I'm gonna get fired by my head coach. So, here we go. Third rep right here. Force player. If this guy squares up, you need to take outside. Right. Ah, see. So you can tell by the difference in our JV and varsity, right? First off, this guy's a stack player. He needs to be way back, right? Way, way back. Not only that, our force player right here needs to take that outside shoulder, needs to take a better angle. This guy right here, the alley, I don't think he doesn't do too bad, right? But our force player really needs to stay, and our stack player needs to play back a tiny bit, right? We don't want him to be on the same level as our force player, right? But if we were in pads, he better make that tackle right there, right? It's not bad. This guy, the backside stack player, this is terrible, right? We want to make sure if we're on the backside of any play, we take a good angle and we want to meet him at the point just in case our play side uh, team fails, right? Let's go through one more clip and then I'll go over our two gap drill, right? Let's see this right here. Right? This is bad right here. Right? He attacks butt side right here. The alley players attacks butt side, but our force player, he needs to attack the butt side. Right now, he attacked the face side and he's gonna get blocked. Right? Well, this is not a good rep. I want a good rep where our returner gets it. Let's see. Okay, attacks butt side. Not bad. Good. Not bad. All right. So that's our net drill right there, right? This is a good drill just to teach that first level. Of course, in a real game, they're gonna get blocked, but this is a good drill to really teach instead of teaching lanes, to really teach oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. To really teach reading the shoulders and um, this kind of helps them on defense too, right? So here we go. Now we're gonna go over our two gap competition drill, right? Some good tackling and everything here, right? We want this to be still low impact, right? So 5 yards apart, but we want them to get a good pop in, right? So this works for both of our squads right here, our return squad and our kickoff squad, right? The goals for return is we want to gain leverage, right? We don't want to attack head on. We do not want to attack head on. We want to gain leverage. That's how you get big plays for kick return, right? And we want to create gaps for returner. How do you create gaps? Well, first you want to gain leverage and you want to kick them out, right? And then our goals for kickoff, right? Since we're working the two gap zone, right? We want to attack these blocks right now. We're not trying to avoid, right? Because this is working the two gap zone, right? As soon as we take on those blocks, we got a shock, right? So meaning we got to lock out on our attacks, right? And as soon as we see the returner, right, and he's near us, we got to shed and go and tackle the guy, right? So let's go over a couple clips over there. Mm. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna work our two gap drill right here. Notice how we have our return line and our kickoff line, right? Notice our return line, they're attacking at a leverage, right? Attack at leverage, all right? And we're gonna take these blocks head on and we're gonna shock and shed, right? Now, one thing I don't like that our middle kickoff coverage guy does right here, and I know everyone has their own philosophy about kickoff, but I'm not a big person on you trying to run through the dude. Why? Because now you're not focused on getting the returner. You're just focused on running through the dude, and now you create this huge gap that we see now, right? He created a huge gap, and now we weren't able to get that tackle. Okay. Let's move on to the next play right here. Right. This guy needs to freaking go back. All right. We're attacking head on. Good two gaps. Now we just got to make the play. But see how this works on kickoff, right? We were able to two gap, right? We shed off. We got to make that tackle right there, right? We had three guys ready. Okay. Attacking leverage. Ooh, this guy gets a little too far up the field, right? I don't mind it because now he's going against a slower person right there, right? Number 15 right here. He's one of my special team demons, so I kind of trust him a little bit more if he wants to outrun someone. But let's see what happens, right? That's not bad, right? Our guy on the right was able to shed a block right there. And now we get 2-on-1 right there, inside leverage and a force player right there. That's good. This is a good rep for the kickoff team. Let's go over one more. Go there two gap in. See how what happens is when everyone two gaps, look at the returner right here. He kind of stumbles. He's not sure exactly where to go, right? He's playing behind a line now, right? Ah, there we go. We make a play on him, right? We got to just really lock out though on these shock and sheds, right? But yeah, so those are the two drills that really helped us on kickoff coverage this year, right? I really hope that I was able to, um, you know, uh, not sure what the word is. I hope you guys learned something from me. I'm a really young coach who's really passionate about special teams. Um, so yeah, thanks for watching my video on kickoff coverage drills.